For today's cruise news, the mysterious and tragic death of a crew member working on board a celebrity cruise ship brings about a lot of heartbreak and a lot of questions that people want answered. Also, a recent Carnival Cruise Line controversy has sparked a lot of anger and division amongst Carnival lovers. The topic of discussion revolves around whether kids and infants should be allowed in Carnival Cruise Line's exclusive adult-only area. We will go over this and more in today's video. So, getting straight into it, reports are now surfacing stating that just last week, a 45-year-old unnamed crew member from Indonesia was mysteriously found dead inside of his cabin while working on board the Celebrity Infinity cruise ship. Just for reference, the ship was initially built in the year 2001, hosts 2,300 passengers, 1,000 crew members at full capacity, and is currently completing 7-day sailings around Greece. According to a few statements at this point in time, it is believed that the body of the 45-year-old crew member that is now deceased was discovered after he didn't show up for work. He had fellow crew members go in and check in on him, and that's when they made the gruesome discovery. The authorities on board the Celebrity Infinity would then contact local authorities as the ship was already in the process of heading to Kavala. Once they arrived, you had the authorities come on board, remove the body, and it is now currently undergoing an autopsy. Being that there is, of course, an autopsy and an investigation currently underway, obviously there isn't a lot of information available about what has exactly happened. My condolences to go out to the friends, family, and loved ones of this crew member. I can't even imagine. For many of you out there, you do know I worked on board cruise ships. I know from personal experience, to leave on a contract from anywhere from 6 to 9 months is already hard, kind of, I want to say mentally and emotionally kind of detaching from that fact, but to be away and then pass away while you're away, it is absolutely heartbreaking. I would imagine that everyone ranging from the immediate family to the crew members on board are wondering what happened. Was it a self-harm situation? Did this man have medical complications? Which isn't out of the realm of possibility. However, do keep in mind, in order to work on board a cruise ship, you have to go through a lot of medical examinations and evaluations to even be cleared to work on board. Either way, regardless of what information is available, this is heartbreaking, it is tragic, and it is a reminder to all of us that life is short, life is precious, and we all do have an expiration date, so enjoy this life while you can. Moving on to our next topic, we gotta talk about Carnival Cruise Line, the fun cruise line, the land of the very important fun people, because there is a controversy and a conversation that needs to be had involving the people that sail with Carnival Cruise Line, the adult-only area on board Carnival cruise ships, the Serenity Deck, and of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy we all know and love, the ambassador of Carnival Cruise Line himself, Mr. John Heald. As many of you know, because I stated on this channel all the time, I have a lot of respect for Mr. John Heald. He has been pretty open over the years, stating he doesn't like people like me on social media. Nevertheless, I give him a lot of kudos. Why? Because he has to deal with a lot. He constantly has to update everybody on any itinerary changes, new ships coming out, or hurricane information like we're dealing with Beryl at the moment, and he has to deal with a lot of complaints. I'm pretty sure he doesn't get much sleep, because recently there was a woman that reached out to John Heald stating that she was very angry. Why? Because there was a woman with an infant in the adult-only area on board her ship. To make matters a little more complicated, there was a wrench thrown into the mix, or should I say a bosom. According to the woman that snapped the picture, which John Heald did delete, apparently the passenger that was in there with the infant was breastfeeding. And now comes the conversation on whether if this woman was breastfeeding, regardless of what the situation was, she's still an adult in there with a child, an underage person that is not an adult. Should she be allowed to do that? First of all, let's go ahead and address the little sailor in the room, this particular situation where the woman was feeding her child. I am not a woman, I am not a mom, so I can only comment so much on the situation, but I am going to look at this more so from the animalistic human side of things. We were all babies once that did need to eat, and by that I mean we all had to be breastfed. On that topic, I would just say for the lady in general, if you can find someplace, I guess somewhere a little bit more subtle or a little bit more private, then obviously the lady should go there. She shouldn't just be out in the open, in my opinion, where there are the potential for people running around that could bump into her, or let's say she's in another open area where there are kids. But on a cruise ship, I would imagine there are plenty of other options for this woman to go to. That sensitive, brief topic aside, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Should kids be allowed in the adult-only areas? And let's not just talk about Carnival. Let's talk about cruise ships in general. Personally, straight up, I don't think so. There are literally 1,000 other places for kids to hang out. Yes, there are going to be some people in there that are going to make the excuse that, well, you know, I'm breastfeeding, or my kid is shy, or my kid is in time out. However, even though those are completely different situations, theoretically, an adult can make an excuse for really any reason as to why a non-adult is in the adult-only area. I think it's a very slippery slope, it's muddy waters, and if somebody is taking their 1 or 2 vacations a year that they get, and they want to go to an area on board that is dedicated to adults only, it should be what they're expecting. Naturally, believe it or not, there are going to be people that disagree with me, stating that on the ship it is a public area and they pay for the entire cruise, they should be able to enjoy it all. And if little Billy comes in there for 5-10 minutes to take a nap or to hang out with mom and dad and they're not disturbing anybody, what is the big deal? But like I said, it is a very slippery slope. Last year, for example, I was on a cruise that had an adult only area. A woman decided to bring her daughter in, and I think she was maybe just younger than a preteen, and the people next to them were some real party goers. They were using some naughty sailor language and talking about bed wrestling. The mom calmly and respectfully said something. However, the party people were making the argument that it's an adult only area. The mom really couldn't say much. She understood that she was kind of in the wrong, but part of her was still emotional about it. Eventually, she ended up leaving the area, and it kind of diffused the whole situation. But my point is, whether it be a situation where adults are being adults, or you have crying kids all over the place, I think it should all be avoided altogether to ensure everybody's satisfaction on board their cruise. Nevertheless, this is my stance and I'm sticking to it. I don't know what needs to happen here, especially on Carnival ships. I've seen kids and teens many a time in the adults only area. Maybe they need some security because that can also be problematic. I've been on many a ship where they don't have security at the nightclub, and even though we know the nightclub is adults only and there is going to be some adult-like activity going down in there have been kids that have slipped through the crack, and well, they either got involved in some altercations they didn't need to be involved in, or it just caused a lot of trouble. But that's what I got for today's video. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And know as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.